Hello and welcome to Number Confidence Week Confidence Conversation Series. I'm Peter Sawkins. I'm an accounting and finance student at university, but I'm best known for winning the Great British Bake Off. And here today, most importantly, I am an ambassador for the charity National Numeracy. So many of us struggle to manage our money. Some people find it impossible to save and find understanding credit confusing. But today we're going to hear from some inspiring people who will share their thoughts on how boosting our number confidence can help us feel more prepared to manage our money and feel more in control of our finances. So this morning we're joined by my fellow and newest National Numeracy Ambassador, Timmy Merriman Johnson. He is a financial content creator, a podcaster, author and founder of Mr. MoneyJar, which is a UK-based financial education company. And we're also joined by Cathy Prior, who leads the education element of the social impact program at Provident Financial Group. So hi there, Timmy and Cathy. Thanks ever so much for joining us today. We're going to get things started by coming to Timmy first. So I understand that you didn't always feel as confident with maths and money as you do now, but now you help thousands of people with your platform, Mr. MoneyJar. Could you tell us a bit about your own journey, how you became a financial expert that you are today?
Yeah, thanks very much, Peter. Looking back, I wouldn't have considered myself as someone who is particularly good with maths or with numbers. But I think one of the things I realized early on is that numbers are just the ingredient, and what's more important is how you use them and what you use them for. And so I familiarized myself with various tools like spreadsheets and apps and calculators to help me work with numbers. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I'm a big believer in the fact that education doesn't have to end with school, and that it's important to have a growth mindset. So just because you might not be good at something today or not feel as confident with something today doesn't mean that you can't learn about it down the line. And so now I share what I've learned with my followers on Mr. MoneyJar, because I think everyone deserves a chance to be good with numbers and with money.
That's amazing. And what does Mr. MoneyJar aim to do? Sort of how are you aiming to help people and achieve their goals?
The aim of Mr. MoneyJar is to make learning about money fun and to make it accessible. I think that many of us have been shut out from various money conversations, or things are too jargony or go over a lot of our heads. So I really do aim to simplify and break down key financial concepts so that people can use them to live their best lives.
That's amazing. And where in this, in the role of that, where does increased confidence with numbers come in, and how does that help people manage their money better?
Yeah, I think we can all relate to the feeling of being terrified checking a bank statement or getting a credit card statement in the post and feeling confused or intimidated by that. If you can increase your confidence with numbers, then that allows you to better engage with these things and see them for what they are. And increasing your confidence with numbers can help you to develop some of the core financial skill sets around budgeting and saving. Very simple everyday example. Familiarizing yourself or becoming more confident with mental arithmetic, for example, means that when you're going shopping, you can keep a running total of all of the items that you're buying in your head, which allows you to budget better and also means that you don't get any nasty surprises when you get to the till.
Yeah, really simple skills that can help in lots of different aspects of life and sort of permeate different areas. That's great. We're going to bring in Cathy now. And Cathy, we understand that you've had your own transformational journey with numbers. Can you tell us a bit about how things used to be for you and where you've moved to now?
Yes, certainly. So a lot of what Timmy was saying there really resonates with me. So when I was at school, I really struggled with maths and numeracy, and I was quite shy and I didn't feel confident enough to tell the teacher that I was struggling. And it just spiraled from there, and I ended up, I stopped going to maths lessons in the end, unfortunately. But that had a knock-on effect for me then, because I left school and I left home quite young, and I had a daughter. And we were living in a flat and we were trying to manage money. We were both on the dole. So there wasn't a lot of money coming in the first place. And then we just started getting into more and more debt, and it's just spiraled out of control. And as Timmy was saying there, we were getting letters from the bank saying they were going to put this percentage on, they were going to do this, they were going to do that. And we didn't understand them, and we just put them to one side, and it came to a head, and things went on from there. But eventually I met my husband, who I'm with now, and he sat me down, and he's very old fashioned, and we got to, so when I got paid monthly, I'd put my money into envelopes, and because I could actually see my money and I could see it was spread out and I hadn't to touch it, it really worked, and it really helped me. And then that helped me then to feel more confident, to start thinking, well, actually, it's not something that I can't ever do. So I started to then sort of go back to the basics with numeracy and try and learn from there. And it just started to build my confidence. And so then I was able to sort of feel more in control and to start planning ahead for the future.
That's amazing. And then bringing in those numeracy skills and improving that. And when you went on that journey, how did the building that number confidence help you feel more in control and help you make those better financial decisions?
Yeah, it was great, actually, because it wasn't until through work we started to work with national numeracy, and I started seeing all the figures saying, like 49% of the UK working population don't have the math skills of an 11-year-old, and I'm thinking, oh, right, because I always felt like it was just me, and because I work for a financial organisation, I would not dare say that I struggle with maths, because I used to get comments like, oh, well, you work for a financial organisation, you should know. I'm like, I don't do maths at work, but actually I do basic numeracy. But it was just finding the challenge and being able to go on there and actually start to work in my own time at my own pace and realise that I can do this. So that was good.
It's a great thing to do. Did it feel daunting at all when you started off on that journey, or did it take a bit to get into it and to decide to start?
Yeah, because I could feel the old feelings coming back, and some of the work we do with national numeracy talking about maths anxiety, which is clearly what I have, or what I did have. And so when I started looking at fractions, for instance, and percentages, I was sort of thinking, I can't do this. And I remember doing the challenge the first time, and I got a really low percentage. And I was just thinking, I'm just rubbish. I'm just not meant to do this. But then I had to go again, and I did a little bit better. And I went on to the modules that help you to improve the areas where you need the help. And I really started to improve. And I was doing fractions, and I was learning about all these different types of fractions that I never really knew about, and thinking, actually, this is quite fun, and I can work this out. And I was really upset because I got 9 out of 10 when I came to do my little test, and I thought, why am I upset? Before I started this, I wouldn't have even got 1. so yeah, I kind of see it as a challenge now, and I just want to get better and better. And like I say, I find it fun, and I just think it's great. And I never thought that I'd say anything like that.
No, that's amazing. That's a real success story. It's great to hear. Timmy, do you see sort of Cathy's story in some of your followers and some of the comments that you get, and do you see that out in the work that you do?
Yeah, 100%. I loved your story, Cathy, because it's proof that you can feel that you're not very confident with something at one point and learn about it further in the future, essentially. And in the work that I do, I speak to people who I think something I hear a lot is, I'm just not good with numbers, or I'm just not good with money. But that's really not the case. You can increase your confidence around these things, and you can learn to better manage money. You just have to believe that you can, and have that growth mindset that I spoke about before. And also believe that, as Cathy says, learning about maths and learning about money can be fun and can be an enjoyable thing.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that. Maths and numbers can be great fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to asking a couple tips from you guys. Obviously, people's finances have changed a lot in the pandemic. A lot more people are on universal credit. They can be that for the first time, or we're working in different ways. So do you have a tip that you can offer for people struggling to get on top of their new financial situation that they've been thrust into now? Timmy, can we come to you with this?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people's finances have changed over the past 18 months. And a really important thing to do if your level of income is changing, so the amount of money you're making is changing, is to take stock of how much you're spending. So it doesn't matter whether it's once a week or once a month, whether it's paper and pen or on a computer, make a list of everything you spent. There's no need to be embarrassed about it or to judge it, just so that you have an awareness of how much money you've got going out. And that will enable you to make tweaks and changes and to plan better for the future.
That's a great tip. I love that. I'm gonna make sure that I get onto writing down everything.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would just say, agreeing with Timmy there, to not panic, and to not get sort of over daunted by it, but to try and sit and work things out, because the worst thing you can do is ignore it. And challenge will help if you go on and start to build your confidence with numbers.
That's fantastic. Yeah, just getting started, getting going is a really important thing. So I'm going to say a huge thanks to Timmy and Cathy for joining in the session today. Thank you very much for joining us online. If you're watching it on social media, make sure that you hit the links in the description or search for Number Confidence Week to head to the campaign hub. You'll find more information about what's happening across the week, and you'll also be able to find confidence boosting resources and activities for the whole family. And if you're feeling inspired and ready to get going right now, you can head straight to the National Numeracy Challenge to start your own learning journey, just like Cathy did. And you can do that by searching for National Numeracy Challenge online. So thanks very much, Timmy. Thanks very much, Cathy. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye-bye.